Ever wondered when cheating in trade first began? Who thought of tampering with weights and measures? What kind of person would be the first to steal people's money and right by force? And who were the people of Prophet Shoaib? How could an entire community end up worshipping a tree? Even more shocking, brothers and sisters, what made them so reckless that they dared to challenge God's punishment? These aren't just questions, they are pieces of story filled with lessons, warnings, and mysteries. Today we are diving into the fascinating tale of Prophet Shoaib, peace be upon him. But before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video so you won't miss anything new. Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. Sayyidina Shu'aib alayhi salam is one of the noble prophets mentioned in Quran. He was sent to the people of Madyan, an area we now identify as near present-day Jordan. Shu'aib alayhi salam was known for his eloquence, earning him the title Khatib al-Anbiya, or the orator of the prophets. The people of the Aika were the communities Shu'aib was sent to. The term of Aika refers to a lush, heavily wooded area where they lived, filled with trees and natural beauty. Despite living in such a blessed, fertile land, they were ungrateful and indulged in corrupt practices like cheating in trade, worshipping false gods, and spreading injustice. They even worshipped the tree of Al-Aika. The Quran directly mentioned the companions of Al-Aika and Shu'aib's role in guiding them. كذب أصحاب الأيكة المرسلين إذ قال لهم شعيب ألا تتقون. The companions of the thicket Al-Aika denied the messengers when Shu'aib said to them, "Will you not fear Allah?" Now, brothers and sisters, picture this with me. A bustling village at the heart of trade routes, markets filled with merchants, vibrant chatter, people bartering over goods, and cars loaded with spice and fabric. But beneath this lively scene, corruption ran deep. Merchants used rigid scales to cheat their customers, and the wealthy hoarded goods to create artificial scarcity. It was a society fueled by greed, where fairness was a forgotten value. The people of Madyan weren't just idol worshippers. They turned their lives into a relentless pursuit of wealth, neglecting moral values and spiritual guidance. Shu'aib alayhi salam was sent to call them back to remind them that justice, honesty, and faith weren't just ideals, but necessities for a thriving society. The people of Madyan were blessed with fertile lands, trade routes, and wealth, but they fell into greed and exploitation. Instead of being grateful, they cheated others, especially in trade. They were known for decreasing weights and measures. They'd give less in return for what they took, essentially scamming people during transactions. Corrupting the land, they used their wealth and resources to spread injustice and dishonesty. Idolatry, they associated partners with Allah and worshipped false gods. Here's what the Quran says about their dishonesty in trade. وإلى مدين أخاهم شعيبا قال يا قوم اعبدوا الله ما لكم من إله غيره ولا تنقصوا المكيال والميزان إني أراكم بخير وإني أخاف عليكم عذاب يوم محيط. And to the people of Madyan, we send their brother Shu'aib. He said, "O my people, worship Allah. You have no deity other than Him, and do not decrease from the measure and the scale. Indeed, I see you in prosperity. But indeed, I fear for you the punishment of an all-encompassing day." Now, imagine this. You're living in a society where greed has taken over everything. Corruption is the norm, and anyone who stands for truth is mocked or silenced. Can a single one voice really make a difference? Let's find out. Shu'aib alayhi salam didn't just call his people to worship Allah. He called them to reform their actions. He spoke to their hearts, urging them to reflect on their dishonesty and its consequences. He said, وَيَا قَوْمِ أُوفُوا الْمِكْيَالَ وَالْمِيزَانَ بِالْقِسْطِ وَلَا تَبْخَسُوا النَّاسَ أَشْيَاءَهُمْ وَلَا تُفْسِدُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ بَعْدَ إِصْلَاحِهَا ذَلِكُمْ خَيْرٌ لَكُمْ إِن كُنتُم مُؤْمِنِينَ. And O my people, give full measure and weight in justice, and do not deprive the people of their due, and do not commit abuse on the earth, spreading corruption, what remains lawful from Allah is best for you if you should be believers. Imagine the courage it took to deliver this message. Shu'aib alayhi salam wasn't just addressing individuals, he was challenging an entire system built on corruption. He reminded them that Allah's blessings are abundant when earned through honesty. He called out their deceit and injustice, urging them to turn back before it was too late. But did they listen? The people of Madyan, also known as the companions of the Aika, didn't just engage in corrupt and practices within their own community. They abused the trade routes that passed through their land as well. Madyan was strategically located along important trade paths, and instead of being fair and just with travelers and merchants, they extorted, cheated, and intimidated them. This, brothers and sisters, unfortunately added to their widespread corruption and oppression. The Quran highlights their behavior. ولا تقعدوا بكل صراط توعدون وتصدون عن سبيل الله من آمن به وتبغونها عوجا, and do not sit on every path, threatening and averting from the way of Allah those who believe in Him, and seeking to make it seem deviant. This verse paints a vivid picture of their actions on the trade routes. Instead of being hospitable or honest, they threatened travelers, they used fear and intimidation to control trade, blocked Allah's path, they actively discouraged people from following Shu'aib's message of truth, twisted the truth, they made Allah's way seem undesirable or deviant. Abusing the trade routes wasn't just about greed. It disturbed the livelihoods of countless merchants and travelers. Trade routes were lifeless for communities, connecting them to resources, goods, and cultures. By exploiting these routes, the people of Madyan became a source of harm and oppression, further spreading corruption on earth. Their actions weren't isolated. They reflected a deeper moral decay. They oppressed the vulnerable, misused their position of power and wealth, turned people away from message of Allah Azza wa Jal. Despite their arrogance and corruption, Shoaib didn't give up on them. He reminded them of their blessings and urged them to fear Allah, warning them that their arrogance and greed would lead to their downfall. He said, وَاتَّقُوا الَّذِي خَلَقَكُمْ وَالْجِبِلَّةَ الْأَوَّلِينَ, and fear He who created you and the former creation. Shu'aib patiently called them to worship Allah alone, abandoning their corrupt ways, and live justly. He reminded them of their blessings, the fertile land, their prosperity, and their trade. Yet, the people of Madyan refused to listen. Instead, they mocked Shu'aib, questioning why they should leave the ways of their ancestor or change how they conducted trade. Here is how the Quran captured their arrogance. قالوا يا شعيب أصلواتك تأمرك أن نترك ما يعبد آباؤنا أو أن نفعل في أموالنا ما نشاء إنك لأنت الحليم الرشيد. They said, O Shu'aib, does your prayer command you that we should leave what our forefathers worshipped, or that we must not do with our wealth whatever we please? Indeed, you are the forbearing, the discerning. They mocked him for his prayers and accused him of trying to control their wealth. To them, there was no reason to change, and they treated Shu'aib's warnings as a joke, unfortunately. Let me ask you this. Doesn't this sound familiar nowadays? How often do we hear people dismiss ethics and accountability with statements like, "It's my life, it's my money"? The people of Madyan clung stubbornly to their ways, refusing to see the harm they were causing to themselves and their society. The same. But brothers and sisters, Shu'aib alayhi salam didn't give up. Despite their rejection, he kept warning them again and again. He reminded them of the fates of earlier nations destroyed for their arrogance and disobedience. Instead of listening, they threatened him one more time and plotted to expel him and his followers. When mockery didn't work, they escalated to threats. They demanded that Shu'aib and his followers either return to their old ways or leave the town together. They couldn't stand having someone challenge their corruption and greed. They said, قال الملأ الذين استكبروا من قومه لنخرجنك يا شعيب والذين آمنوا معك من قريتنا أو لتعودن في ملتنا. The eminent ones who were arrogant among his people said, "We will surely evict you, O Shoaib, and those who have believed with you from our city unless you return to our religion." But Shoaib stood firm. He made it 100% clear that he would never turn back from the truth and that their threats wouldn't intimidate him. He reminded them of the fate of those who had rejected messengers before one more time. He spoke of the people of Lut, the Thamud, and the others who had been destroyed for their arrogance and spleen. Shu'aib begged his people to change their ways before it was too late. He said, وَيَا قَوْمِ لَا يَجْرِمَنَّكُمْ شِقَاقِ أَنْ يُصِيبَكُمْ مِثْلَ مَا أَصَابَ قَوْمُ نوح أو قوم هود أو قوم صالح وَمَا قَوْمُ لُوطٍ مِنْكُمْ بِبَعِيدٍ. And O my people, let not your dissension from me cause you to be struck by their similar to what struck the people of Nuh, or the people of Hud, or the people of Salih. And the people of Lut are not from you far away. But again, they still refused. They continued their corruption and arrogance, convinced that nothing could harm them, as Shu'aib continued his call to truth, honesty, and justice. The leaders of his people, those arrogant and corrupt, grew more frustrated. They wanted to silence him, not because they believed he was wrong, but because his message threatened their greed and power. They made their intentions clear. Either Shu'aib conformed to their ways, or he would face death. Here is how they threatened him. قالوا يا شعيب ما نفقه كثيرا مما تقول وإنا لنراك فينا ضعيفا ولولا رهطك لرجمناك وما أنت علينا بعزيز. They said, O Shu'aib, we don't understand much of what you say, and indeed, we consider you weak among us. And if not for your tribe, we would have stoned you, for you aren't dear to us. In their twisted logic, brothers and sisters, they dismissed Shu'aib's message. They claimed they couldn't understand him, even though his words were clear. This was an excuse to avoid accountability. Belittled him, they called him weak, and said he held no power or influence in their society except for the support of his tribe. Openly threatened violence if it weren't for the protection of his tribe. This was unfortunately a stark reflection of their cowardice. They feared retaliation from Shu'aib's people, not Allah. Shu'aib wasn't intimidated. He stood firm, knowing his strength came from Allah Azza wa Jal. He reminded them that his allegiance wasn't to his tribe, but to his creator. Shu'aib made it clear that their threats wouldn't stop him from delivering Allah's message. He exclaimed and said, قال يا قوم أرهطي أعز عليكم من الله واتخذتموه وراءكم ظهريا إن ربي بما تعملون محيط. He said, O my people, is my tribe more respected by you than Allah? But you put him behind your backs in neglect. Indeed, my Lord is encompassing of what you do. Shu'aib's words were powerful. He exposed their hypocrisy. They feared the opinion of men more than the wrath of Allah. He reminded them that Allah was fully aware of their actions and no amount of tribal politics or power games could shield them from His justice. In their arrogance, the people of Madyan went so far as to challenge Shu'aib. They mockingly demanded the punishment he had warned about, as if daring Allah to act. They said, فَأَسْقِطْ عَلَيْنَا كِسَفًا مِنَ السَّمَاءِ إِن كُنْتَ مِنَ الصَّادِقِينَ. So cause to fall upon us fragments of the sky, if you should be of the truthful. This was the final straw. Their mockery and defiance had reached a level where Allah's punishment became inevitable. The first sign of their torment was an unbearable heat wave. The sun burned hotter than ever, and the air became stifling and suffocating. No shade or water could bring them relief. It was as if the very earth and sky had turned against them. As the heat reached its peak, a strange and ominous cloud appeared in the sky. For a people drenched in arrogance and disbelief, the cloud seemed like a source of hope. Perhaps it would bring shade or rain to cool them down. Little did they realize, this was no ordinary cloud. The Quran refers to this as the day of the canopy. فكذبوه فأخذهم عذاب يوم الظلة. إنه كان عذاب يوم عظيم. And they denied him, so the punishment of the day of the canopy seized them. Indeed, it was the punishment of a terrible day. The cloud cast a large shadow over them, and they eagerly gathered beneath it, thinking it would bring relief. But instead, it was a trap, brothers and sisters, the prelude to their final destruction. As they stood beneath the ominous canopy, an intense and violent earthquake struck their land. The ground beneath them shook so furiously that their buildings and homes crumbled, leaving them trapped and terrified. فأخذتهم الرجفة فأصبحوا في دارهم جاثمين. And the earthquake seized them and they became within their homes corpses, fallen prone. The quake was so powerful that it flattened everything in its path. Those who had mocked Shoaib and his message lay lifeless in their homes. As if the earthquake wasn't enough, a deafening blast followed. This sayha or scream was a sound so piercing and destructive that it tore through their very beings. وأخذ الذين ظلموا الصيحة فأصبحوا في دارهم جاثمين. And those who wronged were overtaken by the blast, and they became within their homes corpses, fallen prone. The sound ended any remaining life instantly. Their arrogance, wealth, and power were reduced to nothing in the face of Allah's Azza wa Jal might. The people of Madyan had been given every chance to change. Prophet Shu'aib pleaded with them tirelessly, reminding them of Allah's mercy and the destruction of past nations who defied him. But their rejection wasn't due to arrogance. It stemmed from stubborn arrogance. After their destruction, brothers and sisters, Shu'aib turned to their ruins with sorrow. Despite their defiance, he had hoped they would repent. But now all that remained were the remnants of once thriving civilization. فتولى عنهم وقال يا قوم لقد أبلغتكم رسالات ربي ونصحت لكم فكيف آسى على قوم كافرين. So he turned away from them and said, "O my people, I had certainly conveyed to you the message of my Lord and advised you. So how could I grieve for a disbelieving people?" The torment of the people of Madyan wasn't just a punishment. It was the culmination of their own arrogance, greed, and the defiance. Their story serves as a powerful reminder of the consequences of rejecting truth and justice. Allah gives chances, sends messengers, and warns. But when people persist in corruption, the outcome is inevitable. So, brothers and sisters, why do I tell that story? It's more than just a tale of distant prophet and his people. It's a timeless lesson packed with wisdom that resonates with the challenges we face even today. 1. A reminder of accountability. The people of Madyan thought their power and wealth made them untouchable. Shu'aib's story shows that everyone is accountable to Allah. Their dishonesty and injustice led to their downfall, teaching us that corruption always has consequences. 2. The dangers of arrogance and corruption. The people exploited trade routes, cheated others, and spread injustice. Their arrogance blinded them to the truth. Their story warns us against greed and unfair dealings, reminding us of the harm they cause to society. 3. Courage to stand for truth. Shu'aib stood firm against ridicule and threats, showing us the importance of speaking the truth even when it's unpopular. His resilience inspires us to hold on to our principles. 4. A warning for all generations. The destruction of Madyan serves as a powerful warning that rejecting guidance and resisting in corruption leads to ruin. This isn't just history, it's a message for us today. 5. A message of hope. Even though Madyan was destroyed, the story reminds us that reform is always possible. Shu'aib alayhi salam never stopped calling his people to change. showing that it's never too late to return to Allah. Shu'aib alayhi salam lived in a world not too different from ours. His story is a call to action. So hey brothers and sisters, if you enjoyed this video, you're going to love this one right here, where I share the story of another prophet. Be sure to check it out. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum.